Benoit. Where's it from? Loire Valley. Benoit from Loire. Delicious. There's a myth, there's a vicious rumor going around that these are hard to make, but they're really not. And if you buy the pastry, which we did, you only need a handful of ingredients, and you kind of break it down, right? Make the caramel, cook the shallots, put it in the oven. It's really, really easy. And you can cook this at home. So we're getting into it. So tarte tatin is a classic French dessert, and usually you make it with apples. It's French. I don't know where it is from in France. Let's quickly find out. So it's from the Loire Valley. Interesting. Loire Valley. But it's a very classic French dessert, but it's a great technique. If you master the technique, you can make it with anything. You make it with pineapples, you make it with pears, you can make it with fennel, tomatoes, I've seen people do. Today, we're making it with shallots. So it's savoury. You know, you start with a caramel, but if you add vinegar and you add lots of salt and you add thyme and onions, what is sweet very quickly becomes savoury, and you get this beautiful, chewy, caramelized onion tart, and it's fucking delicious. You only need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients to make a shallot tarte tatin. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use some pre-made pastry, because making puff is long and we don't want to do that today. Unwrap my pastry and plonk that on top. We want it, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, because what we're going to do is we're going to tuck all the edges in, but you want it relatively close. There's one side off, come around. There we go. We have our disc of pastry that's roughly the right size. Don't be too precious about it. So that can go back in the fridge. Shallots. What we're going to do is just take the very top off, like that. And then we're also going to take just the tip of the root off there. So there's still some root in there, holding the whole thing together. We're going to cut it this way. If you cut it that way, you'll take up more of the pan. Cut straight through in half. That's what you're looking for. Half a shallot, peeled, and we need to do all of those. I should probably put the fucking oven on. We need to pick this. When I worked in kitchens, picking thyme is the worst job you can do. You know, you basically just want to get rid of that. You don't want to eat that. It tastes like shit. You can just grab it at the top and just pull down like that. You guys want to help? This takes fucking forever. Oh, that's the dream. That's the dream twig. Straight as an arrow. Ready? Perfect pick time. Love it. So, pan is going on. I like to put my shallots here, building that kind of savoury character. Just a nice fine salt. Don't be shy with the salt, because you're gonna need it. And then these just go in, cut side down. I'm gonna cook these until you get a really nice colour on that cut side. This portion of the recipe, you don't want to go too many at once, because you want a nice even contact with that hot pan. So that's it, they're just gonna cook away. I'm gonna put this pan on the top. This is gonna press all of the shallots into that hot cooking surface. You can do this with anything. I mean, if you were cooking like a piece of fish or a piece of halloumi or a steak, you can put a weight on the top and you get a real nice, even contact with the hot pan. And what you can do, if you just want to just have a little peek at them all, see this one's a little bit further along, just keep an eye on them. Look after them. So that's what you're looking for. See that? Stunning, right? They can come out. Yeah. So we want a clean pan for a nice, clean caramel. I mean, it's mostly gone. I've got it as clean as I can. Be bothered to. We're gonna make what is called a direct caramel or a dry caramel. And that is a caramel which is just sugar. So I'm gonna use caster sugar. You could use brown sugar if you wanted, if that's all you've got, or you've got golden caster sugar. Put the sugar in the pan and cook it until it melts, and then cook it until it's the colour that you're after. It's really as simple as that. We're going to cover the bottom of the pan with sugar. It might look like a lot, because it is. And then you're going to put it on a medium heat. You can see now the edges have started to liquefy, they've melted. You can see, look, these little islands are like when the Ice Age ended. Just changing the landscape. So it's gone from this to this, to this. And you can see the smoke starting to come off that. So now that's gonna color a little faster than the rest. You can see it's actually almost burning. So I'm gonna just shift the pan, see how that's moving across. And you move the colder sugar into the hot spot. And you can just draw this sugar here. What that's gonna do is just calm it down a bit, and it smells like caramel. We're gonna add some butter. We just pop that in, stir it in. What this is gonna do is cool the sugar down, stop it caramelizing, and what you'll start to see is a really beautiful caramel sauce starting to form. Right now, if you were to put apples in that and bake it, apple tart tatin. But what we wanna do is take it in a different direction. We're gonna take some sherry vinegar. You can smell it. I mean, it gives it this incredible sweet and sour. But I mean, look at the color of it, it's stunning. So the goal now is to cook these shallots almost all the way in this caramel. So I'm gonna use my spoon. Whoop. Be careful because this is really hot. I'm gonna put the heat back under. You see, these aren't all gonna fit. Right, as this cooks down, we're gonna be able to nestle all of those in nicely. We're gonna put the thyme over the top. That's gonna perfume everything. Pastry is out the fridge, nice and cold. Caramel has cooled a little. Still quite warm. You just take this disc, stick it over the top, tuck it in like that. And then you wanna use the other end of a spoon. What we're gonna do, tuck them in. See, you do this with any tart tatin, really. You do it with, if you're doing apples or pears or whatever. So you got a nice tight tatin. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna punch a load of holes in this. If you don't do this, essentially, this blows up like a balloon and your shallots and your caramel stay at the bottom and this inflates and then nothing sticks in it. It's naff. I've seen people egg wash this side, which I find wild because this is gonna be the side that you stick on the plate, and egg wash is really just for show. But I am gonna give it just a tiny lick of salt, which will help it kind of crisp up a bit. But that's ready for the oven, that is it. So what you also, if you wanna make this ahead, you can stick this whole thing in the fridge now, and then you just bake it whenever you're ready. But we're ready now, so it's going in. The oven is at 180 degrees, and I think this is gonna take it's gonna take 25 to 35 minutes, but we'll keep an eye on it. So this has been in about 28 minutes and it's gonna come out because the pastry is nice and puffed. So now, before we turn this out, we're just gonna let it rest for a couple of minutes. What do you think? Look all right? Ow. Cool. So this on top, and then. So hopefully all of the shallots have come off, which they haven't. Perfect. You can just play a little jigsaw, slot them back in. I mean, and look at the color of it. It's like jammy, caramelized, super sweet. God, it's fucking that's delicious. So that is what you're going for. We're just gonna let that rest, let it set a bit, let the sugars set up so when you cut it, the shallots don't just slide off. So it's hung out, so I'm just gonna slide it onto the board. I'm just gonna cut some chives. Chives with a nice oniony flavour. Nice portion. Just a little dollop of creme fraiche. And then the pile of chives on the top just to give it a nice, fresh, oniony flavour. A little bit of extra salt, because salt and caramel are always good pals. Then a tiny bit of pepper and olive oil. I'd eat that. Because this tart's nice and warm, the creme fraiche just kind of like relaxes into it and it's delish. Let's give it a go. Pastry's nice and crisp. Sweet, tender shallot, a little tiny bite, bit of creme fraiche. Mmm. Oh my God. It has everything we're looking for. The shallots are like jam at this point. They've cooked down in the sugar, the vinegar, so there's a butter. So it's nice and rich. It's a winner. Go make it. Ooh.